So a warm welcome to each one of you for this fourth and final webinar organized by the province of Northeast India on the occasion of the Year of Mission. And this evening we have chosen the theme Faith in Action, Holy Cross in Pastoral and Social Mission. And we have Father Kevo Joseph, a veteran missionary, parish priest for many years, formator, who will be presenting to us his thoughts on this topic, especially on our pastoral and social mission of the province. Father Kevo, thank you for accepting the invitation of the committee to present your thoughts, and we very warmly welcome you to this webinar. Also, welcome to each one of you, Father KJ, and all others who have joined this evening, and wishing you a very fruitful and wonderful time ahead. Thank you, and over to Father Kevo.
Good evening, dear confreres. At the very outset, I would like to thank Father George Jacob for inviting me to share my reflections on this topic of faith in action and for editing the long draft I sent. Secondly, I would like to thank Father Arul J for tracing out the genesis and evolution of social mission in our province. Thirdly, I want to acknowledge the references They Dare to Hope by Dr. David Simley, The Journey with Hope, edited by Fathers Binoy, John, and Manuel Calarical, and Missionaries of Christ by Father Paul Vadakambaadan SDB. The statistics I present are from Holy Cross Pastoral Commission report. Faith in Action, Holy Cross in Pastoral and Social Mission, walking with people, shaping a hopeful tomorrow, standing before a large theme. When I first received the theme for this webinar, I must admit, I felt a certain hesitation. The theme is vast, layered, and demanding. There is an old saying, where angels dare not tread, devils rush in. I tried gently to excuse myself, but Father George Jacob, the organizer of this webinar, would not relent. And perhaps that itself is providential because some themes cannot be avoided. They must be faced slowly and honestly. Beginning on 28 April 2025, the anniversary of Blessed Basil Moro sending the first Holy Cross missionaries beyond the borders of France in 1840, our congregation entered into a special year of mission. Our Superior General, Brother Paul Vanasik, CSC, announced this year in his 6th circular letter, coinciding with the establishment of the Holy Family Mission in Bougainville, Papua New Guinea. This year of mission is not meant to be celebratory alone. It is meant to be reflective, corrective, and renewing. As Brother Paul reminds us with clarity and courage, while our mission, like our charism, remains the same, it must at times be refashioned and adapted in light of the needs of the church and society. We cannot simply rely on what we have always done. These words are not a criticism of our past. They are an invitation to fidelity through renewal. This reflection, therefore, is not an exercise in nostalgia, nor is it a judgment passed with the comfort of hindsight. It is an attempt to stand honestly at the intersection of our story and our vision, because it is precisely this intersection that shapes our life and ministry today. Mission, one shared and received. At the heart of this year of mission lies a simple but unsettling question. Do we have any mission other than the mission of Jesus Christ? And if not, do we have any interpretation of that mission other than the one entrusted to us through our founder? Blessed Basil Moro was unambiguous. In the 1847 rules, he writes that the aim of the congregation is not only one's own salvation, but also the sanctification of others through ministry. This double movement towards God and towards others has always defined Holy Cross. Mission demands a shared vision. Without a shared vision, activity becomes fragmented and zeal dissipates into routine. Education itself offers a helpful image. Educere means to lead out, and educare means to bring forth. Faith formation must do both. We are called to lead people towards the gospel and at the same time to awaken the divine hunger already present within them. In a synodal church, leadership is not domination, it is accompaniment that both guides and draws out. This reflection focuses on how that mission unfolds today in two inseparable dimensions of Holy Cross life: pastoral ministry and social transformation. Our story in the Northeast, grace through fragility. Holy Cross has been present in evangelization and pastoral ministry in the Northeast for over a century. Our early attempts to enter Mizoram before 1947 was repeatedly denied. Visits to the Badapur mission were recorded as early as 1861. But stable missionary presence became possible only in 1939 at Mariamnagar. Limited personnel and resources slowed down progress, yet the seed was planted. Our journey has not been linear. We have known disruption and deep pain. The sudden departure of foreign missionaries beginning in 1966, the destruction of our first parish at Mariamnagar in 1980, and the tragic loss of a young missionary in 2000. These were not merely historical events. They were moments that tested our faith, our resilience, and our trust in divine providence. What sustained us was precisely what our founder handed on: a deep confidence in God's unfolding, even through apparent loss. We have reason to be grateful. Education and parish ministry have borne fruit. At the same time, history humbles us. There were omissions and mistakes, personal and communal. Learning from them is not optional. It is necessary if we are to avoid repeating them. Educators in the faith, gift and responsibility. Our charism as educators in the faith is both universal and particular. It is universal because every Christian in some way participates in faith formation. Families, especially parents, are the first educators. Faith matures over time, shaped by trust, experience, and commitment. Human development research reminds us that faith grows through recognizable phases, gradually integrating belief, trust, and action. What matters for us is not technical categorization, but the simple insight that faith matures and must be accompanied patiently. Our charism is also particular. As religious, we have received a legacy that must be handed on. The church expects this of us. Consecrated life is not withdrawal, it is intensified availability for mission. Our constitutions remind us that competence to see and courage to act are essential. Seeing reality clearly and acting decisively upon it is never easy, but it is indispensable. Jesus himself models this. He sees the abundant harvest and urges prayer for laborers. He recognizes the hunger of the crowds and feeds them. Faith that does not see suffering and respond to it remains incomplete. The present pastoral landscape, signs and questions. At present, Holy Cross animates 16 parishes across the Northeast region. Of these, 7 parishes are in Tripura, 5 in Meghalaya, and 2 each in Mizoram and Arunachal Pradesh. Together, these parishes serve 11,611 families, comprising approximately 63,333 faithful, and are staffed by 34 priests. These numbers themselves speak of a significant pastoral responsibility. But behind these statistics lie stories of immense sacrifice, perseverance, and missionary commitment. The pioneers of Holy Cross sowed the seeds of faith in these regions with heroic courage. They traversed difficult terrains, trekked long distances, sometimes for days, learned unfamiliar languages, and adapted themselves to the culture and lifestyle of the people. Their missionary zeal enabled them to reach places that were considered inaccessible and to remain with people in situations of hardships and uncertainty. Numerically, the growth of the church in our parishes may appear satisfactory, especially when we consider the disruptions caused by the sudden exit of foreign missionaries and the political unrest that affected the region for decades. However, numerical growth alone cannot be the primary criterion for evaluating pastoral effectiveness. The qualitative growth of faith must be measured by the extent to which Christian values are integrated into pastoral life, family life, and social relationships. Here we are encountering a series of a serious pastoral concern. In several places, particularly in Meghalaya, a disturbing gap is emerging between professed faith and lived faith. A recent reflection by the Director General of Police of Meghalaya raises uncomfortable questions. In a society that identifies strongly as Christian, why are families increasingly dysfunctional? And why is moral coherence weakening? Such observations are not accusations, they are invitations to deeper pastoral discernment. Despite a strong Christian identity and high levels of religious affiliation, issues such as family breakdown, domestic violence, substance abuse, moral confusion, and weakening of family bonds are increasingly visible. This raises an uncomfortable but necessary question. If faith is strong in expression, why is morality losing its anchor? This reality must serve as a wake-up call for all of us involved in pastoral ministry and faith formation. It suggests that while we may be successful in administering sacraments and maintaining parish structures, we may not be sufficiently effective in forming mature Christian faith that shapes daily life. As educators in the faith, we must ask ourselves honestly what kind of Christian generation we are shaping. Another pastoral challenge arises from the sheer size and complexity of our parishes. Many of our parishes are geographically vast, socially diverse, and institutionally heavy, often with multiple schools and educational responsibilities attached to them. Parish priests are frequently overburdened trying to balance pastoral care, administrative duties, educational institutions, and diocesan commitments. In such a context, pastoral ministry can easily slip into a mode of maintenance where the focus is on keeping systems running rather than accompanying people deeply. There is also the danger of what may be called fast food approach to pastoral ministry, arriving, celebrating the Eucharist, administering sacraments, and leaving immediately. While this may be unavoidable at times due to logistical constraints, it does not foster deep evangelization or faith formation. Evangelization requires presence, time, listening, and relationship. In earlier years, Holy Cross missionaries were known for their human closeness to the people, living in simple bamboo houses with no walls nor formal barriers. They were easily accessible. People felt at home with the pastor. Today, while permanent structures are often necessary, they can unintentionally create a distance. This calls for a renewed pastoral effort to smell like the sheep, to use Pope Francis' expression, and to rediscover proximity as a pastoral virtue. At the same time, these challenges also open up significant pastoral possibilities. One such possibility lies in strengthening family ministry. If the family is fragile, the church cannot be strong. Intentional pastoral programs for couples, parents, and families are no longer optional, they are essential. Another crucial area is catechesis and initiation into faith, particularly through well-structured RCIA program. The experience of the province shows that when catechumens are accompanied patiently and systematically, dropouts rates decreases and faith becomes more deeply rooted. This requires trained catechists, committed pastoral leadership, and a clear vision of evangelization. The role of trained catechists and touring sisters cannot be overstated. They often reach places and people that priests cannot regularly access. Their presence, especially among women, families, strengthens faith at the grassroots level. Investing in their formation is a strategic pastoral priority. The formation of a small Christian communities also offers a powerful pastoral possibility. When faith is shared in small groups, people begin to take ownership on their Christian faith. The church becomes less clerical and more participatory. This is deeply in line with the synodal vision of the church. In short, the pastoral reality of the province presents us with serious challenges but also rich possibilities. The question before us is whether we have the courage to move from a model of maintenance to a model of missionary accompaniment. Mission today, a broader horizon. Mission is not a department of the church. It is a reason the church exists. Vatican II of Vatican II's affirmation that the church is missionary by nature remains revolutionary. Mission does not always mean going far. It often means seeing differently where one already stands. Contemporary mission unfolds amid contrasting realities, religious revival and fundamentalism in some contexts, secularization in others. Evangelization today cannot be separated from human dignity, justice, and liberation. Proclamation and transformation belong together. Papal teaching consistently affirms this. From Maximum Illud in 1919 of Benedict the 15th and Redemptoris Missio of 1990 of John Paul II, the church insists that witness precedes words, and inculturation matters that dialogue and justice are integral to evangelization. Mission flourishes where holiness, courage, and collaboration converge. Thank you. Over to Father Arul, who was in the social ministry for many years. He will continue on this social mission.
You can hear?
Yes.
Good evening, confreres, Father KJ, the Provincial. I'm very happy to share on social ministry since the province appointed me almost more than a decade to work on in the social ministry. And happy Father Joseph Kevo invited me to share something in the similar line. And I'd like to thank also Father Roy and Father George who helped me to edit my speech and summarize further. Social mission, faith taking flesh. Faith in action for Holy Cross in the Northeast has never been limited to pastoral ministry alone. From the beginning, our mission has also taken concrete shape in social engagement, especially among the poor, the marginalized, and the voiceless. The history of Holy Cross social ministry in Tripura goes back to 1953 with the beginning of a people's self-reliance movement known as Jana Sangha. This initiative was started by Father Leo Gomes and later strengthened by Father Robert Marshall CSC, who had been trained in development work at the Coady Institute in Canada. Janasangha sought to bring together several villages into collective effort for self-reliance, economic cooperation, and social awareness. For nearly 2 decades, Janasangha functioned as a people's movement. However, it eventually went through a crisis and ceased functioning around 1980. Later evaluations revealed a crucial insight. While economic activities were undertaken, there was insufficient systematic value-based education and leadership formation. Without these foundations, the movement could not sustain itself. The lesson would later shape the future direction of Holy Cross social ministry. A more structured and comprehensive approach to social engagement began in the late 1980s with the Integrated Human Development Program called ISTP. Conceived under the leadership of the province and supported by Misrio, Germany, ISTP marked significant shift from charity-based intervention to people empowerment. ISTP focused on forming grassroots organizations, particularly self-help groups, with special emphasis on women who were the most exploited and the marginalized. Through systematic animation, leadership training, income generation programs, and awareness building, people began to experience a profound change in their self-perception. Those who once believed that poverty and suffering were their fate began to recognize their own dignity, capacity, and agency. Over time, this movement expanded significantly. Hundreds of self-help groups were formed and linked through the clusters and federations, creating a strong network for collective action. Evaluation conducted by Bishop Yuan Ambrose, former executive director of Caritas India, confirmed that ISTP had led to a genuine social transformation at the grassroots level. People became more confident, economically stable, socially aware, and capable of advocating for their rights. With the emergence of the Diocese of Agartala in 1996, Holy Cross Social Ministry in Tripura entered a new and significant phase. The ecclesial development brought with it the opportunity for closer collaboration between the diocese and the congregations in the area of social transformation. Consequently, the Integrated Human Development Program, ISTP, was re-envisioned and implemented jointly with the Diocese of Agartala, ensuring that social action remained firmly rooted in the pastoral vision of the local church. This collaborative approach helped to strengthen the coordination avoid duplication, and enhance the reach of development initiatives. It also underlined an important ecclesiological principle. Social ministry is not parallel to the church mission, but an integral expression of it. In the year 2000, further structural clarity was achieved in Holy Cross social engagement. Two distinct social service society emerged, Janasangha, Jana Unnayan Samati Tripura, JUST, and the Association for Social Human Advancement, ASHA. An agreement was formally made between the Diocese of Agartala and the Fathers of Holy Cross, clearly delineating roles and responsibilities in the field of social ministry. According to this agreement, just the social service wing of the Diocese of Agartala assumed a responsibility for the implementation of ISTP and released related grassroots development initiatives. At the same time, ASHA, as the training and capacity building center, continued to be run by the Fathers of Holy Cross. ASHA became a crucial space for reflection, formation, and empowerment. Through ASHA, Holy Cross focused on equipping people with skills, awareness, and leadership capacities necessary for sustainable social transformation. Over the years, ASHA conducted a wide range of programs in social ministry aimed at equipping individuals and communities to become agents of their own development. These programs included leadership training for grassroots leaders, capacity building workshops for self-help groups, orientation programs on social justice and human rights, gender sensitization initiatives, and training in participatory development approaches. ASHA also played a key role in forming animators, social workers, and community leaders who could accompany people at the village and parish levels. This phase of Holy Cross social ministry further reinforced a crucial conviction that had been learned from earlier experiences, such as Janasangho. Lasting social transformation is possible only when people are empowered through education, leadership formation, and sustained accompaniment. Structures and funding may facilitate development, but it is trained and conscious and committed people who ultimately sustain it. A similar approach was later extended to Arunachal Pradesh, where self-help groups were formed among the tribal communities, enabling them to move towards self-reliance and collective responsibilities. This experience reinforced a key learning: social transformation must be movement-oriented, not project-oriented. Projects may end, but movements endure when people themselves become protagonists of change. However, social ministry too faces serious challenges today. There is a constant risk of projectization, where activities are driven more by funding cycles than by long-term vision. Dependency mentality can creep in if animation is weak. Leadership is fatigue is another concern, especially when second line leadership is not sufficiently formed. Without continuous follow-up, monitoring and evaluation, even strong initiatives can lose direction. Yet, once again, these challenges open up important possibilities. Social ministry rooted in faith can be renewed by investing deeply in leadership formation, especially among women and youth. Strengthening people's movement at micro, semi-macro, and macro levels can create lasting impact. Linking social action more explicitly with faith formation can prevent the separation between spirituality and justice. The province's commitment to justice and peace found a powerful expression during the decades of insurgency in Tripura. That in a climate of fear and suspicion, Holy Cross shows a path of solidarity with the people. The martyrdom of Father Victor Crasta CSC, becoming a prophetic witness, his death made it unmistakably clear that missionaries were not agents of violence, but ambassadors of reconciliation, justice, and peace. From this painful period emerged NESNIM, the Northeastern Students' National Integration Movement. Through NESNIM, thousands of young people were formed in the values of peace, dialogue, and national integration. What began as a response to conflict became a movement of healing and hope, leaving a lasting imprint on the church and the society in the Northeast. In this way, social ministry of Holy Cross stands as a concrete expression of faith in action. It reminds us that evangelization is not only about proclamation, but also about presence, solidarity, and transformation. Learnings and road ahead. Several lessons emerge clearly. Sustainable transformation requires people's movement, not isolated interventions. It demands systematic planning, leadership formation, monitoring, and evaluation. Structures matter, but values matter more. When leadership is rooted in conviction, continuity follows. Recent pastoral initiatives such as the formation of small Christian community show the power of empowering the people to take responsibility for faith life. This synodality lived, not merely discussed. Perhaps our greatest temptation is short sightedness, seeing only immediate tasks and not missing the larger vision. Returning repeatedly to our constitutions and founders' vision safeguards us from this. Conclusion. From the reflection to commitment. As we come to the end of this reflection, it is important to remember the year of mission is not meant to leave us comfortable. It is meant to disturb us in the right way. Reflection that does not lead to conversion becomes mere information. Faith that does not move us to action risks become empty words. What we have reflected upon this evening is not a theory of mission, nor a celebration of past achievements. It is a lived story of Holy Cross, written through sacrifice, resilience, failures, learning, courage, and hope. It is a story that continues to unfold through each one of us. The question before us, therefore, is not whether Holy Cross has a mission. The real question is whether we are still allowing ourselves to be sent. Are we willing to move beyond comfort, routine, and maintenance and allow the Spirit to stretch us once again for the sake of the gospel? Blessed more Basil Morrow did not found Holy Cross for safety or convenience. He founded it so that men and women would be ready to go wherever the church needed the most. Trusting in divine providence more than in human calculation, he urged us to remain faithful to our first grace, the burning desire to make God known and loved and served, especially among those who are most in need. Today, the takes its concrete forms. It calls us to walk patiently with families whose faith is fragile. It calls us to invest time and energy in the formation of youth, catechists, and leaders. It calls us to stand with the poor, the marginalized, and the voiceless, not as benefactors, but as companions. It calls us to build parishes that are communities of faith, not merely centers of activity. It calls us to ensure that our social ministry remains people centered, value based, and rooted in the gospel. Above all, it calls each of us personally, not institutions, not commissions, not future generations. Each of us mission does not begin with new programs. It begins with renewed hearts. If the year of the mission is to be meaningful, it must lead us to ask ourselves some simple but demanding questions. Where I am being called to step out of routine, with whom am I being called to walk more closely? What comfort or fear I am asked to let go of for the sake of the gospel? As Holy Cross religious in Northeast India, we may be in few in number, but we are rich in experience, tradition, and grace. If we remain united in vision, grounded in prayer, and courageous in action, our mission will continue to bear fruit quietly, steadily, and faithfully. May this year of mission rekindle in us the fire of our first calling. May it renew our joy in walking with the people, and may it help us to shape with humility and hope a future where the faith truly becomes action. Thank you.
Thank you, fathers, for your presentations. Now it's time if anyone would like to uh, add something to what is already being presented or get some clarification from our speakers, you are most welcome.
I take the chance.
Yes,
Father Kevo, you presented well with your rich experience of being one of the early missionaries working in the Northeast, particularly in the Meghalaya state, with more reference to what is happening in the church in Meghalaya. Very apt your observations are, and the invitation to support the domestic church in particular. Thank you for the young generation to know what has been, our efforts in integral pastoral care of the people. I appreciate that. and Father Arul as well, giving us in a chronological order of the missionary endeavors to uplift people from their miseries. From 1950s to today, it has been a long way. You yourself, Father Robert and Father Thomas John, Father Benny, Father Paul. Now, many people have held that office of Asha, and you have very well said it. It goes hand in hand. Our work, we do social work even as parish priests. We do social work even when we are engaged in the educational field. I just want to acknowledge that your presentation has been quite comprehensive, taking into consideration what the Holy Cross actually has been doing in the Northeast for these past many years. And it was responding to the social need even when we began these primary schools in our parishes, in our missions. So this brings us to the end of the series of webinars that we have had. I also take this occasion to acknowledge the team, Father George and his team, who have so well, faithfully, walked with us or taken us on a missionary journey from the first to last, these four. It has been a great experience of discovering ourselves, what has been our experience in mission, being a missionary congregation, particularly in the context of our context of Northeast. So I just want to acknowledge and thank George and all the resource persons that you have brought in, very competent in their field to enlighten us and uplift us, our missionary spirit. Thank you. And I particularly thank you for today's speakers.
Thank you, Father KJ. Yes, Father Roy.
Yeah, I just thank you, both fathers, Father Kevo and Arul. I just want to bring to the attention of all of us a little historical piece, because sometimes it can be a big doubt in our minds. 1853, we arrived in Bengal, and then first visit, as Father mentioned, 1861, and then settlement only in 1939. So what happened in all these years? So I think we must not forget that for about 10 years we were not present in Bengal. Then another thing is such a vast area of entire Bengal, which consisted practically a lot of Northeast as well. And then only in 1888, the Dhaka diocese was divided and created the diocese of Chittagong. And then we shall also not forget the fact that the division of the country in the independent country in 1947, that brought in a speedy kind of work in this part of the country since the establishment of Haflong prefecture in 1952. In that process, though we were settled only in 1939 in Mariamnagar, Brooklyn property was also purchased in 1929. So we are going to have a centenary this year. So what I want to say is that sometimes it can be in our mind that nothing was happening, or we were very slow and all kinds of things. No, so that we should not forget this context in which the missionary efforts were undertaken as part of our history. Thank you.
Thank you, Father Roy, for that update and rejoinder. Anyone else? I think we will conclude. I request Father Billing to propose the vote of thanks.
Father, please just hold on.
Yeah.
Just 1 minute.
Are they going to sing or something?
Oh, what happened? Billing?
Everybody's in heavy tension here.
Billing, are you there?
Yes, I am here. Can you hear me?
Yes, yes, very much. Yeah.
Sorry, there is
Can
little
see him.
technical problem here.
Yes, please go ahead, Father Billing.
Yeah. So first of all, I would like to take this opportunity to say thank you to both Father Arul and Father K.O. for sharing their experiences with us, of course, touching upon the history of the mission of Holy Cross in the Northeast. And of course, Father George has chosen the very apt theme for this sharing and bringing the Father K.O. Joseph and Father Arul themselves have been very veteran missionaries in the Northeast, especially in Meghalaya and Tripura. And of course, the life speaks louder than words. Thank you very much, Father K.O. and Father Arul. I have known you to be very passionate and dedicated pastors when you were in Meghalaya as parish priest, and of course, Father Arul was also in Tripura as parish priest. You truly have the smell of the sheep. I have been with Father K.O. in Umkyang as a deacon, and I knew him quite well. And when Father K.O. was our director in Brugdin, he used to share many challenging yet deeply inspiring stories from his missionary experiences. And those stories continue to shape and motivate me personally and all of us. And Father Arul too used to share his challenging experiences whenever I had an opportunity to talk to him. And his commitment to the poor through social work has truly shaped Holy Cross commitment towards the poor, particularly here in Tripura. And just about 2 weeks ago, Father K.O. was in the hospital. And today, he and Father Arul are here with us on the screen, inspiring us to renew our zeal and rediscover our commitment for mission during this year of mission of the congregation. And thank you for the valuable insights you shared with us today, particularly the history of the mission of Holy Cross in the Northeast as educators in the faith and apostles to the poor. Your reflection was both thought-provoking and inspiring. And for me personally, both of you are living witnesses of faith in action. Even at this age, both of you continue to inspire all of us powerfully. And we wish both of you good health and pray that you may continue to inspire us for many more years. And I also extend my sincere thanks to all the participants who spared their valuable time to attend this webinar. I hope each one of you and all of us have benefited from this enriching session. And a special word of gratitude to Father George for organizing this webinar. You chose the right theme at the right time and invited the right persons to enlighten us with their profound insights. And once again, thank you all. May we continue to live our faith in action. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Billing, and thanks to everyone once again, and good night.
Good night.
Good night.
Good night. Good night.